Hello everyone, Namaste, welcome back to my channel. This is Amisha Singh Chauhan, and if you're looking for something fun, dark and mysterious, then you're at the right place. So do not forget to subscribe to my channel and also hit that bell icon so that every time I'm here with a new video, you'll get to know about it. So today we will be talking about various conspiracy theories. So let's start off with my favorite, the Beatles. Yes, I'm talking about the very same Beatles you are thinking of. And I'm not going to give them any introduction because I think I won't justify them. But anyways, like I said, they need no introduction over here. And in very specific, today's conspiracy theory is on Paul McCartney. Now, according to this urban legend and conspiracy theory, Paul McCartney / Paul is dead. Now, this conspiracy theory goes that Paul McCartney allegedly died in a car accident on 9th of November 1966, and he was replaced by a lookalike / an imposter who was the winner of McCartney lookalike contest, who is most commonly identified as William Campbell or Billy Shears. Now, the reason why they did this was because MI5 and various other federal authorities as well as the Beatles assumed that when this news will break out in the public, the fans won't be able to take it easily and there is a possibility of violent outrage. So, in order to spare public from grief, they decided to hire this imposter, a lookalike of Paul McCartney, and not only do that but also train him to sing and to play instruments like Paul McCartney himself. Now, this rumor, it actually started off as a rumor. It started in 1967, but then it settled down for some time. But then in 1969, it was the talk of the hour in all the colleges, and almost every college student was talking about this rumor that Paul is dead. Now, the offices of the Beatles were bombarded with fans who were really concerned about Paul's health, and they would ask them questions, write letters, and they were really terrified of this certain news. Now, these fans also believed that the Beatles themselves were dropping hints in their various albums and songs indicating what they did to cover up Paul's death. Now, let's start off with the 1967 album Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band. Now, if you look at the poster of the album, a lot of people believe that it is actually a funeral procession. So like you can see that Paul is right in the middle and everyone else kind of looks like they are inverted towards him, like inwardly inverted towards him. Now, above Paul McCartney, there's this man who has his hand over Paul's head and it looks like that he's blessing him. Now, Paul is the only member who has a black instrument in his hand. So, according to a lot of cultures, it is a sign of death. Now, not only that, he also wears a badge on his shoulder. Like if I'll zoom it to you, you will see it says OPD, which stands for Officially Pronounced Death. Now, moreover, when you zoom in towards the down part of the poster, you will see a white guitar. Now, this guitar was placed for a left-handed guitarist, and we all know that Paul McCartney was the only left-handed person in the entire band. Now, some also believe that the guitar has Paul written on it. Now, when you flip the album, you will see the band pointing towards a line which says 5 a.m. And 5 a.m. is the exact timing when Paul McCartney, according to this urban legend, was officially pronounced dead. I know, it literally gives me goosebumps thinking of these dots when they are connected. Now, let's talk about the song Strawberry Fields Forever. Again, a huge hit. Now, in this song, you can clearly hear John singing, I Buried Paul. I don't know what else to make out from this. It's pretty much clear, right? Now, let's talk about the White Album. Again, a worldwide hit. I mean, all of their albums were worldwide hit, but this one had a lot of things going on over here. Now, let's talk about the particular song named Revolution 9. Now, in this song, there is this one part in particular which says number 9, number 9, number 9. Now, there is something that is known as backmasking. It's a recording technique where a particular music, sound, or a message is recorded backwards. So if you'll hear it like in a normal music way, then you might not able to comprehend the hidden message or, the music or sound. But then when you play it backwards, you might find that hidden sound or music. Now, some say it is unintentional, but what do we know about it? So the reason why I'm bringing backmasking over here is because when you play Revolution 9's that particular part, number 9, number 9, number 9, reversely, backwardly, you will hear Turn Me On, Dead Man. Don't believe me, I mean, why would you do that? I'm gonna play that clip for you. First, I'll play it normally, number 9, number 9, number 9, and then I will reverse it for you and be your own judge.
Number 9, number 9, number 9,
Now, I know, right? It sounds crazy. The first time I heard it, I literally got goosebumps. And frankly speaking, it's one of my favorite conspiracy theories regarding to the Beatles till now. Now, moving ahead, in 1967, the Beatles released a song, I Am the Walrus. Now, it ends with a live BBC broadcast of a fatal scene from Shakespeare's play King Lear, where Oswald can be heard groaning, "Oh, untimely death." It was very much intentional. You can right now go on YouTube and you'll find it in the video as well. Now, a year later, from their White Album, there was this one particular song, Glass Onion. Now, over here, John sings, "Here's another clue for you all. The walrus was Paul." So you're trying to tell me that in 1967, they made a song, I Am the Walrus, which ends with, "Oh, untimely death." And then in the following year, they make another song and wherein John sings that, "Here's my another clue for you all, that Paul is the walrus." Like, you know you can do 2 plus 2 over here, right? Now wait till we come to I'm So Tired song. When played backwards, remember backmasking, you can hear them singing, "Paul is dead man, miss him, miss him, miss him." Again, I'm gonna play the clip for you because we need to be sure about here, right? Now this was about audios in general. Let's talk about the big hit. Abbey Road, 1969's Abbey Road. Now, the poster of Abbey Road is again, like, I feel like everybody knows or everybody has seen this poster once in their life. Even if you're not the Beatles fan or even if you haven't heard them, probably your friends have made sure to show you this poster. Now, according to people, this poster is actually a funeral procession. You can see in the front, John, who is wearing white suit and with his long hair, he kind of looks like Jesus Christ in Western suit. But anyways, people believe that he is the preacher. Now, right behind him is Ringo in all black and he is the Undertaker. Now the fourth one and the last one is George in blue denims and he is the grave digger. Now you may ask, the funeral procession was of whom? Well, you have guessed it right if you have. Was of Paul McCartney. Because if you zoom in on Paul McCartney and observe his entire body for a second, you'll notice that not only he is barefoot, but he's also out of steps when compared to other three. Now in this particular poster, it raised a lot of questions regarding whether or not there was an imposter involved here. Because remember I said that Paul McCartney was a left-handed person. Now if you'll notice that over here, the Paul is actually holding his cigarette in his right hand. That indicates to a lot of fans that Paul was dead and the person in the picture, in the poster, was none other than Billy Shears or William Campbell, the imposter. Now this was about the members of the band. Let's zoom into the car that is parked by the road, the Ambassador car. Now if you look at the number plate, it says 28IF, that is 28 if. So technically, according to this urban legend / conspiracy theory, Paul died in 1966. So if Paul would have been alive in 1969, then he would have been 28 years old. So you see that if Paul would have been alive, then he would have been 28. 28 if he was alive. So all these hints and all these clues directed the fans towards the fact that Paul is dead. Now let's move ahead to another conspiracy theory, and this one's on the king of rock and roll, and yes, it is one and only Elvis Presley. Now Elvis Presley was born on 8th of January 1935, and again, no introduction required to this great personality and musician. In his entire life, he earned a lot of money, a lot of fame and respect as well, but along with it came controversies. Now unfortunately, these controversies and various questions on him did not stop even after his death. Now according to reports, the cause of death was heart attack. He died on 16th of August 1977, where his girlfriend found his body upstairs in a bathroom. He was face down, his left cheek on the floor, and his knees were bent. So it looked like that he was actually crawling towards the door to get help. Now the conspiracy revolves around various sightings of Elvis Presley after his alleged death. The reason why I'm saying alleged is because we're talking about that Elvis Presley is alive. So the question comes, is Elvis alive? Now you get the theme of today's video. Paul is dead, Elvis is alive. Now this conspiracy theory roams around that Elvis Presley was actually an undercover agent of FBI whose job was to infiltrate a criminal organization called the Fraternity. And when he was suspected of being a mole by this mafia gang, he had to be taken under federal's witness protection, and for that he had to fake his death. Now, I get it. I mean, it's a lot of things going on. We all know that Elvis Presley, in his entire life, he was very patriotic. He really loved, and he was actually, he would give hints and show interest in FBI. And in so many words has he expressed his feelings towards it. Not only that, oftentimes when he would go on tours, he would get police's badges. He had a thing for it. Now, this is somewhat based on a book, Is Elvis Alive? By Gail Brewer Giorgio. Now, the author went through thousands and thousands of FBI documents and says that they're pretty much sure that Elvis was definitely an undercover agent. And when asked about his death, the reply came, "Do I know if Elvis is alive today? I don't know. But I do know he didn't die on 16th of August 1977. Now the conspiracy theory, like I said, is loosely based on various sightings. One of the first sightings actually happened the very next day of his death. Now, a person believes that he saw Elvis Presley at the Memphis airport, where he actually booked an air ticket to Argentina under the name John Barrow. Now, it is known that oftentimes Elvis Presley would use the very same name, the very same alias, to book various hotels so as to avoid all the media ruckus. Now, the next prominent sighting is said to be from the movie Home Alone. And yes, I'm talking about the very own classic holiday movie, Home Alone. Now, if you'll zoom into this part, you will see this man in the background, and according to all his mannerisms and his beard, he is said to be none other than the king himself, Elvis Presley. Now, this movie was shot 13 years after his death. So, who was this man? Now, let's talk about his tombstone and his funeral. So, on his tombstone, his name is written as Elvis Aaron Presley. Aaron was his middle name. Now, the reason why people question this is because in all of Elvis's documents, Aaron is spelled with a single A, but on his tombstone, it is spelled with double A. Now, the fans believe that the reason behind this was because the superstitious star found it taboo for his name to be written on his fake tombstone while he was still alive. Now, a picture was released from his funeral where he can be seen from his coffin. Now, people believe that it's not Elvis Presley inside the coffin but a wax figure. Now, they compared the face seen in the picture with a much younger Elvis Presley. While at the time of his death, he was morbidly obese. Later on, a letter was compared on a television show. This letter was written by Elvis Presley to the then President Richard Nixon, where he talks about and requests him to make him a federal agent at large, and he signed it off with his own signature. This very own letter was actually compared with the death certificate of Elvis Presley, and according to a lot of handwriting experts, the letter and the death certificate was written by the very same person. Again, very shocking. Now the question is, if Elvis is alive, then what happened to him? Where is he? How could he escape all of this ruckus? Now, it is assumed that the government helped him to escape and they took him to Bermuda Triangle. And if it is so, then how come nobody saw this happening? Well, there was this one person who saw it. So this person, whose name is not known, was actually a close helper of Elvis Presley who used to work in his estate in Graceland. Now, according to him, on the very same day of his death, on 16th of August 1977, a black-colored helicopter arrived at their property. Now, this information was given to a veteran police officer whose name is Monty Nicholson. Now, according to this veteran police officer, he was approached by this personal helper. He also had pictures of the helicopter and Elvis Presley entering this helicopter. Now, when he showed these pictures, the veteran police officer was convinced that Elvis had been escaped and was taken under witness protection, because according to him, the helicopter in the pictures pretty much looked like a government helicopter, and there were agents around him in uniforms. Now, when this helper was approached again, he said that he had no such information and he vanished. Now, this is also mentioned in the veteran's book. Now, there are various other sightings as well. Like, you can see this picture from his boathouse where you can see him sitting behind the door. Now, some people even believe to have seen him in Burger King. The thing is that for such a huge celebrity, like he is called the king of rock and roll, to hide him and to fake his death is such a huge task. So many people, thousands and hundreds of people had to be lied about this. And how come none of them even came to the media and disclosed the fake death news? I mean, this person would have earned millions over here, probably billions as well. Another thing to be mentioned, let's talk about the tombstone over here for a second. So this tombstone, which had misspelled Aaron, so according to Elvis's relatives, Elvis much later in his life started spelling his middle name Aaron with 2 A's. He disliked the fact that his parents wrote his name with single A. So he insisted all his managers and his father to use double A like it's mentioned in the Bible. Now the father respected his son's appeal, and so as to fulfill that, on his tombstone, instead of single A, he went with double A Aaron. Next we have Home Alone, the classic holiday movie. So when the director of this movie was asked about Elvis Presley being part of this movie, he laughed and said that if Elvis Presley would have been on the set, then he would have been the first person to know about it. Later on, it was found out that this person who looked like Elvis Presley was actually a friend of the director and a junior artist, and none other than that. Now, his sighting at the Memphis hotel the very next day after his death, the thing is that there was no bookings made under John Burroughs. So this person who said that he saw Elvis Presley with John Burroughs alias was probably maybe lying or something. I don't know. And if you closely look at the letter and the death certificate, it does not look same. I mean, I'm not a handwriting expert, but it does not look like the same person's handwriting. What I'm trying to say is, a lot of times when we look for hints, our brain catches those hints and we draw out our own conclusion, which might not be the real thing. So that probably is the case with the fans. And again, I'm stressing on the fact that to hide Elvis Presley's death, tons and tons of people have to lie. And how come nobody ditched out on this? Now let's talk about the Beatles over here. So in the album Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, from the poster where you can see Paul wearing a badge which says OPD, in reality it said OPP, which stands for Ontario Provincial Police. It was a badge given by themselves to Paul. Also, everything was just a coincidence. According to the photographer, the white guitar was actually a junior assistant's impromptu plan, an idea. And at the backside of this album, them pointing towards 5 a.m. was again a coincidence, and it was not really pointing towards anything. Again, the fans were really looking for hints, so they will make out any conclusion out of anything. Now in the song Strawberry Fields Forever, which was released in 1967, people heard John singing I Buried Paul. John Lennon actually said in an interview that he said cranberry sauce. I know they don't sound similar. I mean, I buried Paul, cranberry sauce, but then hear it. Now here power of suggestion plays a very important role. Our brain works in certain way. So when we are suggested to look for certain words or certain music, that is what our brain catches from all the various statistics present around here. Same goes with the song Revolution 9's number 9, number 9, number 9. We were told to listen and hear the words turn me on dead man. That's exactly what happened to you and to me as well. Now let's talk about our favorite Abbey Road 1969. So that particular day was a really hectic day. There was a lot of traffic and they did not have a lot of time to do the photo shoot. So they only took a couple of pictures. And if you will see in all the other pictures, Paul is actually wearing his shoes. And he said in an interview that he had to take them off because he was feeling really hot. And there was no other reason for that. It was all coincidence. This picture was the best one out of the rest few. Now about the car and the number plate 28F. So like I said, it was a hectic day and they did not have enough time to call a towing company to tow the car away from the street. It just was there and worked as a prop. There is no other coincidences over here. So like I said in Elvis Presley's case, the same goes over here. The fans were looking for hints. They would do anything and they would draw their own conclusion. And power suggestion plays a very important role. Now Paul McCartney certainly did not die on 9th of November 1966, but then it was a very big day for the Beatles. That is the very same day John Lennon met Yoko. Now, at the end of this video, I would say one thing, that these were just conspiracy theories, and nothing else. Now, at the same time, I would like to know your opinions. Do you believe in these theories? Do you believe that Paul is dead or Elvis is alive? Now, drop down your opinions and your views. Also, if you have other theories to be mentioned over here, then do drop down your theories as well. I would love to know your opinions and the reasons behind it. Also, if you have suggestions for future conspiracy videos, then do put your suggestions in the comment section as well. I hope you found this video informative. Do hit the like button, share it, and also subscribe if you haven't. Take care, you all. Bye bye.